All right, Shalom. First, want to give honor to God's praise due to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushua, Ba'ashim, Rekakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace to Akim that's doing his work on the four corners of earth. And we had like an old wine bottle come up to the camp who just woken up to know he's an Israelite, and he failed to realize he's supposed to be humble when you're talking to the men of the Lord, especially because there's laws to tell you. If y'all want to break out the laws of when you come up to a prophet, how you probably supposed to come up to a prophet, y'all can bring those out too if you brothers won't. But you're supposed to come to the prophets humble. You're not supposed to talk over the prophets.
I got you.
You know, okay.
Ecclesiastes 5:1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of the Most High, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil.
And you go ahead.
Yeah, so when you come into the men of the Lord, keep your mouth shut and be more ready to hear than to speak. You know, and that's what that old wine bottle couldn't get. He wanted to do more speaking than listening.
Who next up the bat?
That's why they say you got 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Right.
More hearing, less talking.
That's right.
I got a piece of it real quick.
Let this brother go, then you.
This is a story of Nicodemus, a Pharisee. This is John 3. I'm going to just go straight to the point, because he was a ruler. He was a Pharisee, a ruler of the Jews. And I'm just go straight to the point. And Yahushua, this John 3:3, and Yahushua answered and said unto him, Verily I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he shall not see the kingdom of Yahweh. And he refused to be born again. He refused to open his mind, you know, to be retaught. You know, he's so stuck in his ways. He don't want to listen. Even when we got brothers that's been in the truth longer than me, hey, they younger than me, but they more wiser than me in this truth.
That's right.
But he refused to listen to the mouth of babes. So, and Nicodemus said unto him, How can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter a second time into his mother's womb and be born? And Yahushua answered and said, Verily I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of heaven. And if you don't have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures, hey, you ain't gonna enter into the kingdom of heaven.
That's right.
You won't get it. You know, hey, you gotta be retaught. You know, you gotta, humble yourself and be retaught. Hey, all the things that you learned, hey, you gotta throw that shit out the window.
That's right.
And you've been indoctrinated most of your life with plantation Christianity. That's the first thing you gotta get rid of. And then once you get rid of that, hey man, you gotta stick with sound doctrine. You know, you just can't bounce from camp to camp to camp, and then think that you're gonna come to one camp and say, well, I'm if I tell you what I think I know, you're gonna get on me. You know, hey, stick with sound doctrine. And everybody, even the Afro motherfuckers, centric motherfuckers, what's his name?
Sinetta.
Sinetta said GMS got it. So why would you go anywhere else except a GMS camp?
That's right.
You know, go ahead.
Yeah, you go up next. Then I'm gonna go to you. Then I'm gonna get you.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 18, and verse 2. And Yahushua called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted, and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. As you can see, this man was not humble. He came up, I'm coming to you humbly and meek and all of this garbo he was talking about. And then as soon as he had the chance to speak, all he did was try to question the doctrine, saying that the seal was the Sabbath day. That doesn't even make sense. So the fact that he came up in a subtle way, saying that he was humble, and the doctrine that came out of his mouth just showed you that this man had no understanding. He's an old bottle.
He's confused.
You don't mind if I grab that too?
Oh, go ahead.
This is Matthew chapter 9 and verse 17. I'm gonna start at 16. No man put a piece of new cloth unto an old garment, For that which is put in to fill it up, take it from the garment, and the rent is made worse. Neither do men put new wine in old bottles, else the bottles break, and the wine runneth out, and the bottles perish. But they put new wine into new bottles, and both are preserved. So that man was an old bottle. We got old wine still in that vessel. So he's not going to get this new wine. He's not going to understand that the seal is first. When you hear this word, you get sealed. This truth, right? First, it resonates with your spirit. That's why the scriptures say the spirit beareth witness, right? His spirit was not bearing witness for what he was bringing out. He brought out many scriptures, many precepts. He kept, he answered the left side of my question, but the right side of the question wasn't answered. He did keep saying that.
And you know, the strange thing that I always see when I go to other GMS camps, we always have the same doctrine. We don't vary from one point to another. We all in unison with the same doctrine. You know, like when we go to Chicago, same doctrine. When I went to Grand Rapids, when the brothers were still in GMS, it was still the same doctrine. But you know, this guy, he's just, you know, man.
Well, the Lord ain't dealing with him, man.
He's all messed up in the head.
Not right now. It's like he got to come back as a baby, learn all over again. You know, was you done with yours, huh? I'm gonna get you in a second and get this, brother.
All right, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 4, verse 7. You spoke on how when you come up to the camp, you're supposed to be humble.
Yes.
It's a certain spirit you're supposed to come in. We got the understanding that the spirit of the prophets is subject unto the prophets. So you're supposed to come with the thought that these are the men of the Lord, right?
Right.
It says, Ecclesiasticus chapter 4, verse 7, it says, "Get thyself the love of the congregation, and bow thy head to a great man. Let it not grieve thee to bow down thine ear to the poor, and give him a friendly answer with meekness." Like this guy, man, he was kind of getting out of pocket. He was speaking over brothers. You know what I'm saying? If we was Bill Gates or somebody standing out there, he would have been hush hush. You know what I'm saying?
Or TD Jakes, he'd be all in. You should. That what I mean, TD.
That's what never would talk that.
Amen.
Or Kwame Kilpatrick.
You know, he goes to what's called Little Rock Baptist Church right down the street from us. Kwame might still be there getting his check.
The Kwame package.
You know.
Go ahead.
So one of the things this guy that came up to the camps, the first thing that he said was, "What can we do to get our people to understand about the Sabbath?" Basically, because there's a lot of things we'd like our people to understand. But one thing he doesn't understand is that there is an election, okay?
That's right.
And that this truth, learning that you're an Israelite is just the beginning, but this truth is for the elect, okay?
That's right.
You can be preaching and teaching many people, but if they are of the 2/3, their mind has been blocked to receive the truth. This is the book of Romans, chapter 11, and verse 7. "What then? Israel have not obtained what he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded." So the rest that were blinded was the 2/3. The election is the 1/3 that's going to get this truth. When they hear it, they're going to be awake. They're going to wake up because the Lord is going to be working with them.
And they're going to humble themselves.
That's right. God. Verse 8, accordingly as it is written, the Most High have given them a spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, ears that they should not hear unto this day. So them same jakes that was against Yahushua back in the day, and even further back when we were in the wilderness, all of them jakes, the rebellious jakes, them stiff-necked jakes, they're going to be cut off even at this time. They're back here today, and they're blinded from the truth.
Go ahead,
This is Matthew 20 and 28. "Even so as the Son of Man came not to be ministered to, but to minister to, and to give life a ransom for many."
That's your piece?
And
I have a free links to that.
Okay.
and we came out to teach and to give edifying doctrine unto the elect. and the hopeful elect. And we ain't got time for people to come up there with their strange babbling and their strange doctrines, thinking that we're gonna change from what we've been doing before you even came up on us.
That's right.
You know, we ain't gonna stop doing what we're doing. And you know what? I have to say this again. You know, I said it several times before, but y'all brothers ain't never heard me say it. But being in GMS 6 months, I learned more than all my life going to the motherfucking plantation.
That's right. That's right.
You know, I never, when I first started hearing these words, I didn't hear none of these things when I was going to the church. You know, you gotta let that old stuff go.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, brother. You said you got something to back that up.
Yeah, well, yeah, dealing with this character, right? He was coming. He acted as if he posed like he had a question, and then, like the brother say, he flipped it. You know what I'm saying? And basically, you can see that the pride was setting in on whatever doctrine he believed in. So he wasn't able, to the point he wasn't able to receive, the precepts that we was giving him. You know, he's basically stuck in his ways, as often Jake is. When they learn something, they take hold of that, and you can't tell them nothing different. But he has, as the scriptures say, he has need to be taught again. You got to start over. So real quick, this is Hebrews 5:12. For the time ye ought to be teachers, you have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. And that's what this even though he put his his age out, I'm 65 years old, as if that gives, Jake always put that age out there like that gives them some type of rank, but you don't have the knowledge, wisdom, understanding of the scriptures. Like you a fool, you simple,
major fool.
So yeah, he's stumbling over the milk and meat at the same time. He got to start afresh, right? It says, for everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age. And dealing with the Sabbath, I mean, it is strong meat. It is strong meat, especially for Jake, that he don't even know you're Israelite, or he just new to this. That's a new way of thinking of how to think about how you tell time according to the moon and the sun.
Kind of because through his spirit, he just woken up. He's an Israelite.
Kind. So yeah, this, he ain't never say, but like it just sound like, I don't know if he was thinking that the Sabbath day was the seventh day, literally as in Saturday. I don't know, but you could tell that he was still fumbling, over this word. It says, but strong meat belongeth to them that are full of age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. So he did one coming up and and getting out of pocket, and that pride setting in, and want to talk over brothers. Then he don't really want to admit that he's wrong. He said it in a just kind of in a prideful way, like I'm gonna hit you with one better. I don't know, but it's just say you don't know, bro.
Right.
So we can go on with, what I'm saying. It's like we don't need all that extra from Jake, the way he come to us. But like how brothers say, he's a so-called white man, or hell, any other nation that dressed up or not. If it's another nation, they ain't got shit to say. But when it comes to our own people, what I'm saying, they want to give us that flack.
One of the things specifically that he said was, he said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you one. He said, I don't know. Because he had a problem admitting that he did not know, and he felt like admitting that you don't know something is a problem. That's how you get the answers. That's how you get the truth.
He had that Esau Edomite demon on that proud spirit. That's what it was. When it's about getting corrected. Go ahead, out.
Isaiah 28 and verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? And notice this doctrine as in singular, because there's only one truth. Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. The milk and the breast is the scriptures. For precept must be upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. Here a little, and there a little. And he didn't even use any precepts to back up what he was saying.
Exactly. He used one precept.
Not one.
The only thing he called for was Ezekiel 20.
And he didn't even understand that scripture.
He showed it.
Ezekiel 20.
Verse 11. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people.
Let's go from that window.
To whom he said, this is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest. Talking about this truth. Because it set your mind at ease. And this is the refreshing, yet they would not hear. And you saw that today. He didn't want to get the truth. He didn't want to humble himself down and get the true understanding of the Sabbath. Because he felt like, oh, well, I got the age on me, so I know what I'm talking about. Y'all young, y'all don't know what y'all talking about.
Yeah, that was the straight wickedness what he was doing.
Exactly.
Get to you.
I got a real short precept. This is Amos 3 and 3. Can two walk together except they agree? And we was totally in disagreement with anything he came out with.
Right.
You know, and we was in unison with what we agreed in. And he still didn't want to see the logic in all the precepts we brought out.
Can one of you brothers bring out Romans 9 and 6?
Romans 9 and 6?
Yeah.
I'll get it for you. Romans 9 and 6. Not as though the word of Yahweh have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel.
The reason why I had you bring that out, brother, was because he was talking about how can we get all of Israel into this truth.
Well, it's not our job to get all Israel
No.
in there. That's Yahweh and the angel's job.
Matter of
And
fact.
the Most High's job. The Most High got to open your mind so you can get this doctrine and open knowledge and understanding.
Can one of y'all
and the faith and the hope.
And the
Because
proof,
without all that, you dead.
and the proof of that, can somebody go to Ezekiel chapter 9 and 4?
Because Yahweh Shai, he ain't come back for the nation. He only
That's
come back
right.
for the elect.
Sure.
Right, and I don't know if he knew that or not.
He talked like he didn't.
And even if he told me, he wouldn't have got it.
Ezekiel chapter 9 verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
The mark is this knowledge, this truth that we have.
That's right.
And those that are sighing and crying is the Lord's elect.
Because, go ahead.
And that mark is a desired mark that you want to have.
Because when you go into the Hebrew, that word there is the what, which means an exemption from judgment.
And to the others he said, In mine hearing,
The others are those that don't have this mark, 2/3.
Go ye after them, go ye after him, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity.
Yeah, and that's the Most High speaking to that angel. So those that don't have the mark, go through and kill them. That's what the Lord's saying. Right?
Slay utterly old and young, both maids.
Oh, read that again.
Slay utterly old, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark.
So with that judgment, the Lord ain't going to discriminate.
Exactly.
Even if you old, you ain't got the truth. If you young, you ain't got the truth. It's all about the elect at the end of the day. Those that have the mark at the end of the day. Right?
And began at my sanctuary. So he knew he was Israelite. He said, I knew I was Israelite for 2 years. Old body,
You done with that? Okay, when you get done with that, bring out Matthew 10 and 34.
Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house.
So judgment is going to begin with those that know that there is one.
Israelites, because when we come out there, we're gonna come out there and give you 100% truth, whether you receive it or not, yay or nay with us. You got it.
Matthew 10 and 34.
Yes.
Yeah. It says, Think not that I am come to send peace on the earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword.
And I had you read that because Yahushua, he gonna kill Israelites as well as all other heathens. So what he talking about? Okay, I'm gonna get you then When you done, when this brother get done reading, then you go out now. But go ahead.
Yep. Yeah, so basically, Jake, he comes up to camp. He's 65 and all. He feels like he can't learn from people younger than him, and that he's going to come up there and actually teach us. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 5, chapter 1 and verse 5. It says, a wise man will hear and increase in learning, and a man of understanding shall obtain unto wise counsels. So the wise counsels is out there. Scriptures say wisdom cry from the streets. Okay, so we're out there. We've been given the word of God by Yahweh Shem Shai to give to the people. Okay, so he believes just by looking at us that he can't get any knowledge. Okay, that shows no wisdom. This is the book of verse 6. It says, to understand a proverb and interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. The fear of the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Okay, so you gotta have the fear of Yahweh Shem Shai.
That's right.
When you have that fear in you, you're gonna be meek, you're gonna be humble, and you're gonna be able to get the word. Okay, this guy was blinded because we was breaking down everything he needed to understand about the Sabbath and other scriptures, but he didn't want to get it. He didn't receive it.
Not only that, but he failed to realize what was really important. He didn't go in about the mark of the beast. He didn't go in about Jacob's trouble. He didn't go about World War III. And those are the ones that was way more important.
Way more important, because if you take the mark, the Most High is going to destroy you. That you can be forgiven for certain sins. That's why Yahweh Shai died, so we can be covered. As a matter of fact, the elect is covered, okay, right, because they are slated to make it. They are slated for salvation.
Okay.
Okay?
I got a precept.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Isaiah chapter 6 and verse 8.
Right.
Also I heard the voice of the Lord Yahweh, Baal Shem Yahushua, saying, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then I said, here am I, send me. And he said, go and tell this people, talking about the two-thirds of the Israelites, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. Make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert and be healed. But the Lord don't want them to convert and be healed. That's why they stay blinded. It says, then said I, Lord, how long? Meaning, how long are these jakes going to be blinded? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate, which is the destruction. So they just going to stay blinded to the end.
And when we start preaching on the street corners, the highways and the hedges, hey, that's going to be the family of the word, and then a sudden destruction is going to happen on this place. Hey, it's going to happen.
God.
Hey, you're going to wish we were still out there on the highways and hedges, still teaching, and y'all was thinking we was crazy, man, and half dresses, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Go ahead, up.
This is Ephesians chapter 4, verse 1. I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that ye walk worthy of the vocation wherewith ye are called, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love. So when you come into this truth, you have to be lowly, man. You have to be meek and humble. You see? This man had no humility. It was all talk. As soon as he got pricked in the spirit, he started to lash out. You see? It says, enduring to keep the unity, as the brother said, right? When we preach this word, man, we all in unity. This is one word. We ain't, brother, the Sabbath day is on Tuesday. Nah, brother, it's on Friday. No, we all speak the same word. Enduring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one power, and the Father of all, who is above all, and through all, and in you all. So the Lord is in all of us. That's why he said, 2 or 3 gather in my name, there am I in the midst of you. See? So, hey, as brothers is in the spirit, bringing up, you know what I'm saying, the prophecy of the mark of the beast, this old bottle came up talking about the seal of the Sabbath. And he had no understanding. You see? It was a stumbling block unto him.
Straight.
That's it.
Please, sir.
Kaliyah, then you. Best. Okay.
Oh, okay, kind. Okay, oldie but goodie, but this hits the point. You know how they say hit the nail on the head, right? This is Job 32 and verse 9 says, "Great men are not always wise, neither do the aged understand judgment." You know, so this guy is I won't say the epitome, but he's a perfect example of that matter. You know, flexing with his age. You know what I'm saying? He got grades. You know, you would think, you know, especially in the world, you know, you see, man, you know.
He think he's an elder
Yeah,
of the
he like that. He's like, oh, he can teach me any and everything. But when he comes to the scriptures, no, man, you don't have the truth. You don't have the correct doctrine. He went in every which way. You know what I'm saying? But I read it again, Job 32 and 9. Great men are not always wise, neither do the aged understand judgment. So he didn't understand, all right, he didn't even understand his own doctrine. That's was such a bad look. He didn't even understand what he was bringing out. Because whatever, and it sounds, yeah, he probably is camp hopping. And oftentimes when people camp hop, you know what I'm saying, they double minded, they all over the place. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? They linking up precepts that don't even go over other precepts and the whole nine. So yeah, he's an old wise skin. You know what I'm saying? He had no understanding or no knowledge. Good.
Yeah.
You want to make a point?
Go ahead. You got something?
That's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 20, verse 6. It says, "Some man holdeth his tongue."
Yeah, that's it.
Some man holdeth his tongue because he have not to answer, and some keepeth silence knowing his time. So instead of him trying to go back and forth and, you know what I'm saying, if you don't know, you just don't know. You know, like the brother brought out earlier, you know, you're there first to learn, to hear, right? It says, "A wise man will hold his tongue till he see opportunity, but a babbler and a fool will regard no time." And that's what he was showing himself to be foolish by doing much speaking, but there was no knowledge in it, you know?
That's right.
Right.
Hey, but when he approached the camp, he
Yeah,
came
he wanted-
there as if he just wanted to.
You go ahead. You be next.
Yep. With the question,
I'll sock you. Go ahead.
he was basically there to try to teach us that the Sabbath is the most important thing in the world. In other words, he was trying to teach us that the Sabbath, if you don't keep the Sabbath, you're condemned. But brother came back and said, you know, the MOB, do you know what that is? Because the scriptures specifically say if you take the MOB, you're going to be destroyed. Okay? But going off on the Sabbath, you can be forgiven through Yahweh Shai. Okay? This is the book of Romans, chapter 10 and verse 1. "Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to the Most High for Israel, that they may all be saved. I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge." So what he came there with, talking about the Sabbath is going to save us. If you're not keeping the Sabbath, you're condemned. That is not the true doctrine, okay? You need to understand the major prophecies like the MOB, okay? Verse 3, "For they being ignorant of the Most High's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of the Most High." So if he came there humble, he would have got the truth. We were prepared to teach him everything he needed to know. But he came in there locked in, talking about the Sabbath, as if that was everything. Okay, Most High knew we weren't going to be perfect, but the election is going to make it.
That's right.
Okay, they're covered.
I got two purposes. Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 20. "To the law and to the testimony," which is this word, "if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them." And he ain't have the light. Light represents truth. He ain't have the truth. This is James chapter 1 and verse 19. "Wherefore, my beloved brethren," which is whom? The elect, "let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath." Which he didn't follow any of those. "For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of the Most High. Wherefore, lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls." Key word is meekness.
You last up the bat, and that's it.
This is 1 Corinthians 1:27. But Yahweh had chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and Yahweh hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. And you think you was wise because you was 65 years old, but you was a fool among us. Hey, you didn't show no wisdom when it came down to this true knowledge and understanding of the scriptures. You seem like a fool among us. You know, that's pretty much it. You know.
Okay, well, if that's it,
Yes,
you could basically, an old fool is worse than a young fool, okay?
Oh shit! Be not a fool at all. Hey, get this truth. Hey, learn it. Hey, humble yourself. Learn this true doctrine, understanding of the scriptures through GMS. Hey, we got the truth. Hey, don't go no way. Don't be camp hopping. Hey, find you a GMS camp and come there.
That's
Hey,
right.
don't come here one day and then we see you 3 months later. Hey, just keep coming.
That's
You
right.
know, regardless, whatever happened, hey, just know you gotta get here. You know, regardless, hey, if you get here, hey, we'll see that you get back home. You know, hey, just get here.
That's
you
right.
know, come and learn.
So yeah, that's right. For Thomas Cooney, Lord willing, this was a edifying video. With that, I'm gonna give honor, good praises due to Yahweh.
Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Double honors to Boss and Nell, this is a great millstone. Peace to Akin that's doing this word on the four corners of earth. Shalom and above.
Ba-ba-ba.
Kwam Bakiyam.
Kwam Bakiyam.
Shalom.
Shalom.